What's up? Football Friday, Pick Central, joined by Big Ed, Clemmer, and Smitty via the Zoom. So I just saw this tweet before. I know we've touched on Saban for a long period of time. We'll get into the NFL big time. More of the gambling angle, different things like that. Obviously, a true Football Friday because you look at it, 14 games left to make money in the NFL.
Crazy.
14 games
Crazy.
left. That's 1 week pretty much on a Sunday.
Sure.
That's the last 15 Sundays that we've seen. So aside from the ones without bye weeks, but Sark staying in Texas. So I was saying to Ev, and I was thinking about it on the drive home. I had Bud Elliott, who's great. You can go re-listen to Healthy Debate. I put him up there right there with Brad, like sharp guy, and covers the sport as well, like news and different things like that, spring games and stuff like that. Like great guy. So who is the number one choice?
Well, Lanning.
Probably Lanning, right? Okay, so now we're in a position now, weirdly, with Alabama where take away buyouts and take away current situations. Like everyone would want to go to Alabama, but they're at least on their second option. They're never going to tell you what the exact order is.
Of course.
Right?
Of
But
course.
like they'll tell you, oh yeah, DeBoer was number 2. But like you still got your second best option. You know what I'm saying?
But
was DeBoer really 3? And what if DeBoer stays? I think he won't. But if he stays, now we're looking at Lane being your 4th option. You get what I'm saying? Like that's just a kind of a Alabama is getting their 4th guy on the list. That's a little like it's just a thing to factor in.
It's fair, but I think it's the point you're making is totally correct. But I think when you're Bama, it's like your choices. It's like 1A, 1B, 1. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
We're talking about the elite coaches in college football. So you're right. Like it is nuts. 'Cause I thought about it yesterday too. I was thinking of like, wow, if like people are literally turning down Bama, this is insane. But at the same time, when you're listing Lanning, DeBoer, Sark, Lane Kiffin, you're literally talking about like every of those guys unanimous, like top 10, 12 coaches in college football.
Yeah, so like Lanning didn't necessarily turn down Alabama, but he said no before they could. He said no before he had the opportunity to say yes, if that makes sense. He never went and met. Correct?
But I'm sure they must have clearly reached out.
Agreed they wanted him. Yeah.
So he still kind of said no.
Okay. Yeah, either way. But
obviously, there's, like you said, the buyouts, there's so much they can do.
100%.
It's crazy. Everyone we talked about, like Lanning, Kiffin, they've all been coaches at their schools for not that long. DeBoer, literally, this was his second year. Lanning, this was his second year.
That's what's crazy.
Sark, what was this, year 3, 4?
Alabama is selling themselves on a guy. Now, I think Dan Lanning's great, but you're selling yourself on Dan Lanning on a 2-year success run. Like DeBoer. Now, I don't think that's wrong. I think they do have the goods. But, man, there's not a lot of evidence or not a lot of games stacked up on those guys.
Sure, but like when it's just so tough. You're replacing Saban. Like there's no one to like compare.
But I guess on the flip side, when you added Saban, you had a guy that already had won a national title. He'd already had a resume that was very pristine, like other than Dolphins shit. Like, Saban was already kind of a borderline legend before he got to Alabama.
Yes.
There isn't that same guy this time around.
There's never going to be a guy like it. You can never get a legend like that.
Oh, Bill Belichick's on the market.
It's a good point. Imagine Belichick in Alabama.
That would be It would never happen, obviously, but you want the argument who's a better coach, Saban or Belichick, and Belichick just does it to just try to stick it to Saban.
I mean,
that'd be great.
Going off Clemmer's point about loving control, there's no more control than being the head coach of a college football team.
Oh, yeah.
You are number one. You are more important than the players, which is the opposite in the NFL.
I mean, the question of Saban versus Belichick, didn't that kind of end when Saban was a Miami Dolphins head coach?
Yes.
Oh, no, we're just joking. No, we're joking to him coaching Alabama.
So, all right, so then to that.
No, I know,
Jesus,
but I'm saying.
clever.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean,
to that point,
No, the argument. I mean, it has to be Belichick just because. I mean, it's in Bama. You have such a leg up, like just being at a program like Alabama. You have such a leg up where at Patriots, like there's so much. There's less turnover, but there's so much more variables.
I mean, Nick Saban's competing against Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin is such a joke in the NFL. Like, he's a punchline. I know in college
You could say Saban. I mean, Saban sucked.
Saban wasn't good.
That's what I'm saying. So is Spurrier.
Pete Carroll wasn't. Oh no, I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry. Pete Carroll was bad before he hit the lotto with the Seahawks.
Right.
Not great with the Jets and.
And the Patriots.
But there's also a lot of guys like that. College in the NBA, like Rick Pitino. I'm sorry. Rick Pitino.
Don't even get me started.
Pitino in the bad in the NBA. Calipari bad in the NBA.
Yep.
That takes nothing away from them in college.
You can argue that for NFL, the only successful college coaches who made it in the NFL, quote, made it in the NFL, like you can list on one hand: Jimmy Johnson, Jim Harbaugh, even though he didn't win one, Pete Carroll.
I mean,
Pete Carroll took a little while.
He's not.
Yeah, he took a.
He wasn't great. Barry Switzer did win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Barry Switzer did win a Super Bowl. Dick Vermeil ended up winning the Super Bowl. But other than that, I mean, look, Lou Holtz, Steve Spurrier,
Lou Holtz
Bobby
got laughed.
Petrino.
Lou Holtz got laughed out of town. He tried to teach the Jets a fight song. Joe
Bobby
Namath was like,
Petrino,
"Get this fucking
Saban,
guy out of here."
Fucking Urban Meyer. Like, there's a long list of college coaches who are dominant in the field that just basically. But I have a question for you guys, specifically Rico and Nev. Is this turning down Bama just a product of NIL leveling the playing field for the top 20 schools?
A little bit.
Yeah, I would say so as well.
Okay.
A little bit.
Because you really, like, especially with the 12-team playoff, I mean, Oregon's in a spot. I mean, especially now they're going to be in the Big Ten. I mean, if they can go 9-2, 10-2, they'll be in the playoff pretty much.
I still think you could have,
for the most part.
I still think you could have 3 lost teams flirting with playoff position.
Yeah, absolutely.
1,000%.
Absolutely. In the Big Ten SEC, for sure.
1,000%.
For sure. No question.
This reminds me, history lesson here a little bit, but this reminds me of when baseball got free agency. You had all these dynasties. The Yankees had won so many times between 47 and 64. And then free agency happens. Look at the 80s in baseball. You had a different winner almost every year because it really did even out the playing field in a bizarre way. And I think it's the same kind of thing with NIL now. You know, it's harder to keep a guy for 4 years.
I mean, and the way you can transfer, there's so many more, people just don't sit around and wait anymore.
Right.
People sit for 1 year and think about it, because you got to remember these kids' psyche. Like, these kids were the best players in their county, their state, and then they come to college for 1 year, they're sitting on the bench, they're like, fuck this. Right. I could go from Bama to Oregon, or it's not like you're going from like Bama to fucking like Missouri Valley State. You can go from the top school to like a almost parallel top school. Maybe there's a hole there. There's a situation you could sneak in there and play. And like, look at the quarterback market now. It's crazy. Like, literally the transfer quarterback market like starts at like a good starting quarterback is like $1 million plus.
When you give control back to the players as opposed to the owners or the colleges, parity does happen, or at least it does level the playing field a bit more. It's an interesting thing. I don't know. I love that kind of like theorizing and kind of seeing when you do X, how does it affect Y?
No, 100%. And I think going off what I said before, it's kind of this specific job search was such a unique element that like all these top coaches have these like massive buyouts because they're new to a lot of them were new to the school. Besides, pretty much now they're throwing Dabo in the mix, which a few years ago when Clemson was on top, it was almost like a foregone conclusion that one day Dabo was going to follow up Nick Saban. It almost was like a done deal.
That is the most,
and that's changed
thing in the
so
world.
much.
Dabo Swinney basically coached his way out of a job, and the guy has.
He would have 100 if he had
He
stayed.
has multiple championships.
Yeah,
multiple championships.
Went to more.
You know, yes. Here's the thing, man. When those Alabama and Clemson things, they'd all get muffled in.
Oh no, they
won.
It felt like they.
I know they were all
played each
there
other like 5 years in a row.
Exactly, and it's.
They were just, but he has been he has just refused the transfer portal, and it has literally coached him like down a peg of like They just won't take transfers, and it's hurt them
Plus,
so badly.
He's just a little weird. He's a weirdo
So
guy.
badly.
Like, yeah.
Same thing happened in baseball. Red Sox didn't do a free agency, and it completely ruined them. Like, when you have people that resist change, it almost always blows up in their face. That's just like a life lesson.
Like, he brought them to a point where they literally were like natty or bust. Like, this year they lost 4 games.
And then look at the guys who...
They were 4-4. Well, I mean, they have just fallen off. And they still could jump back, but even this year, I don't know if he has. He's still... It's crazy. He, still just refuses to do it.
Look at guys...
I just can't believe it.
Look at guys who have embraced change. I think Saban was a ground and pound guy, and then he started airing it out.
Yes, he knew.
It got to that,
100%.
Another one.
He had to start running spread. He couldn't just beat people up anymore.
For as much as I think he lost his fastball, I got to give Krzyzewski credit. He won't say that's why he got a second life on his career, but when he started embracing the one and done,
100%,
that saved his career.
100%.
There's no doubt about it.
Ev, with Dabo, you have to realize if he starts bringing in NIL people with NIL money, these players might get a little bit more shine than Dabo, and then all of a sudden he's not leading the team sprinting out the tunnel anymore.
He's also the man that was on record saying if players start getting paid, I'll retire.
And he just didn't.
I'll quit. I'll never coach again. And then that happened, and he just kept coaching.
Yeah.
And now is a not nearly as good a coach he was prior to that.
Crazy.
How long ago was that when he said it?
What do you think? 6 years probably?
Something like that, yeah. I'll give one last one too. I watched the end of it. Didn't watch the whole game. Watched the end of it. But in the theme of legends and staples, like stepping away or just things we're used to being customized, of just that's going to happen again this year for the 50th year in a row. Gonzaga might miss the tournament.
They're a different team. They've taken a big step. They're not nearly as good as they've been.
I love EK. I just don't know what's going on. Like, they've taken some bad losses here. Don't have a lot of quad one games left. Mark Few, the Tommy Lloyd's gone. That looks like people are just dunking on him for that. They're clearly not the same team. It also is one of those things, like, after this week, nobody is dominant in college basketball.
No, for sure not.
It is. We talked about it being wide open last year, and I asked Jimmy Dykes, I'm like, is there a super team? He's like, it might be Alabama, but Alabama had some flaws, obviously. Like, that's, even I'll say that. I don't think there's really any super teams out there. Yeah, so they're only, Oh, and another one, too, I wanted to touch on, because they did beat them in UCLA. UCLA.
Oh, my God.
Is a fucking mess.
Oh, my God.
Mess. And Dave is never going to want to hear this. So, like, cover your ears if you're listening. Utah might be pretty good. I know he lost that bet, and he's, like, mad about them. Utah's, like, pretty good.
I was so mad.
UCLA real quick.
In that Utah-UCLA game last night, I had the over 137. UCLA scored 90 points and it did not go.
Utah scored 90
points. Or excuse me, Utah. Utah
no.
scored 90 points. They won 90-44.
But then the crazy thing
90-44.
Mick Cronin's buyout.
Mick Cronin's a great coach. It's crazy to see this.
Titus had the kid Kevin Swinney on, who's pretty good, and he was I saw that clip. They're talking about the buyout. Like, they could get to a point where it's like, you know what? Like, it's so bad. Just
what are they, 6-10 now?
Dude, it's crazy. Click their profile.
God.
It's insane.
I think they're like 6-10.
Also, why is there not a public service announcement last night that I gave out Gonzaga to bet on Gonzaga on Steve Nash night? Why didn't anybody tell me? What the fuck? The whole place is wearing Broncos 11.
Santa Clara.
Come on, like, what? You can give me a fucking alert when the weather's gonna change and all this flooding, and I just got 9 fucking things for Geico, like update on your car and this and that. Bro, fucking tell me when it's Steve Nash night.
So Gonzaga has Kentucky on the road. That could push them.
That's it though. Like, that's it's horrible. Click UCLA real quick. I just want to see how bad that is. You could have clicked the team. They played each other. You got to learn that hack.
No, I know, but Gonzaga and UCLA didn't play.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, they did? Was it in Maui?
Yeah, it was on their schedule.
All right, I missed that then.
Ohio State actually played UCLA too this year.
Scroll up.
Oh.
I can't work like this.
Take it easy. Relax.
Oh, my God.
Because I can't work like this.
Diva Bosco.
Is that UCLA?
I mean, look at just L. Jesus.
Scroll up. Let's go take a look at it.
Yeah, can you read?
Yeah, but.
You know their schedule. Oh, shit, I zoomed in too much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just, they've lost 8 of the last 9.
Dude, their wins, their
St. Francis, Lafayette, and LIU.
Their best win is 154.
It's Oregon State.
Unheard of.
Oh, my God.
Did you see Kevin Swinney on Titus's show, too, talk about the buyout that Mick Cronin has?
That's what I just said. Yeah, it's crazy. It's $18 million.
No, 20, right?
Or it's 20 and then 16 or something like
It's
that.
20, and it's if he leaves or if he leaves
Or gets fired, right? Yeah, it's crazy.
That's the stipulation that was.
Dude, they are horrific. What are their metrics, real quick? The efficiencies.
237 in offense, 43 in defense.
I'm going to change after. I don't know if this updates immediately, but giving up 90 last night, I'm sure didn't help there.
Yeah, click real quick. Well, two seconds on this. Click go to the main page of KenPom just to kind of show
we're in the weeds.
Where we're at. No. I just want to prove again, like the top 25. Zoom out on that real quick. There are a lot of teams in there that, again, like I just don't see winning a title that are highly ranked. Like, can you see Wisconsin winning a title? And that's not a knock on Wisconsin.
I can see them making a run, but it's so tough.
Oklahoma, Florida Atlantic, Texas Tech.
I think Florida Atlantic. It's hard to say.
Mississippi State is very good.
We literally watched that team go to the same team go to the Final Four last year.
They also were struggling last night against Tulane. They shouldn't have won, maybe.
Yeah, they got lucky as fuck. They honestly got
I don't know what's wrong with them. I think they have the.
Did you see the end of the game?
Yeah,
they were up 2 and they fouled them on a 3 that was very iffy.
It was a foul, but it was definitely like.
It was one of those. It was like calling that in that spot was like at Tulane playing like a Final Four team last year was tough. Tough way to lose.
If I had Tulane money line, I'd be saying that was a bullshit call.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Even with the points, I still was like, damn, like I feel bad for Tulane.
And then for all the people out there panicking, like, Alabama's a disaster. Let's look real quick at some elite teams. Creighton, 4 losses. Marquette, 5 losses. North Carolina, 3. Illinois, 3. Duke's got 3. Tennessee's got 4. Like, taking 5 losses against really good teams, yeah, it would have been nice to beat one of them, but everybody's got their share.
Honestly, Creighton's relax. I don't see it with Creighton.
Marquette.
Personally, I just don't.
Either way, but it's. I just wanted to touch.
I was just saying,
it seems like nobody wants to take control of this season so far. A lot of ball to be played, but no super teams. A lot of teams with flaws. It's a great, college basketball I think every night you can watch a compelling game. So
weren't we having the same argument last year, kinda?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's early in the season, but I almost think this year might be even more.
This is more.
You had a wide open Final Four.
Chaotic.
I mean, look at the March. If that's any
way more chaotic.
There will be a Miami in the Final Four. There will be like a team like Alabama, efficiency-wise. If you just want to talk about it, I've been on your side, Rico. I think that Alabama, you saw them in the hundreds in the beginning of the season when they were going through that. They're at 57 right now.
Defense.
If they keep slowly creeping up, there's a lot of people that are going to have to bite their tongue about Alabama.
Agreed. He gets better defensively. So, but either way, it's not to make it an Alabama thing. It's not to make it a Gonzaga thing.
There's like 4 teams that could win it right now. Like if the tournament started today, I'd say like UNC, UConn.
I don't know. I think this is one of those
Houston.
years. I think this is one of those years you throw away the metrics. I really do. And I'm a big metrics guy. I just think it's nobody wants to take control of this thing. So we'll see. But all right, it is a football Friday. Super Wild Card Weekend is how they call it. What do they call it? Super Wild Card Weekend because it extends into Monday.
Sure.
But yeah, let's go through it. Extended breakdowns on each one or what you really love. I wrote these down yesterday, so Ev, if the lines are skewed just a tad, let me know. Saturday.
I got it right here.
All right, Saturday, 4:30. Browns -2.5 going to the Texans, 44.5. The over 2 now. Okay.
Yeah, Denzel Ward getting hurt, I think, affects this line.
Okay. So
they're saying he's okay, but they're saying he's gonna play probably, but he tweaked it. Yeah.
You have to go tweet it.
That's a problem.
The Browns are 2-4 when Denzel Ward does not play.
He's a big player. Their defense also is Their defense is so weird. Because it can be so elite sometimes, and they've had some weird performances that this year where they've just gotten torched by whatever teams.
Yeah, but can't you just see Myles Garrett having 5 sacks this game?
Not really.
No.
I don't know.
Maybe not 5 sacks, but a strict.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
That just completely affects the game.
I like the over in this game a lot.
Really?
I think it gets over. Yeah. I just think the way the Texans are. I believe in C.J. Stroud to play well, even as a rookie in a playoff game, at home in a dome, and I just think the way the Browns offense is rolling, I think they're gonna get theirs, and I think Stroud will score enough. I like the over a lot. I like the Browns too, but I like the over more probably. But I like the Browns. I most wanted to take the Browns money line.
I did the same thing. I got the Browns money line. It's -130. The Denzel Ward injury obviously frightens me a little bit, but I just think kind of go back to what Rico's point a little bit, like rookie quarterback. He is still a rookie, and as much as he's an excellent rookie, because Rico and I had this debate, but it is a first playoff game. I think there's something to be said for that against a really good defense. On the other side, he is at home.
Do we think Flacco's really going to put his team in a position to make mistakes or take like stupid chances? I don't.
I mean, his playoff record is just insane.
I know. No, but he's just a crafty vet. He knows enough not to fuck around. I'm conflicted here because I love Stroud. I had to walk it back a little bit when I was saying Stroud is better. Like, I think 25 GMs would take Stroud over Allen. Probably had to walk that back a little bit as the Bills are moving their way towards an AFC, title game potentially. But I like Stroud, but I also kind of want to see Flacco win one here. I think it's an interesting thing. I'm leaning Browns. I think defense travels. Rookie quarterback, not a lot of experience with the Texans. It's Browns, and it's kind of pretty confident for me.
Look, I don't want to be Nostradamus Smitty when it comes to the game script, but listen to me. I said Josh Dobbs was going to play a month ago. Josh Dobbs played. They won. Do you boys remember last week when I said, hey, don't be surprised if Ryan Tannehill comes in the game and they win the ball game? What happened, Big F? Ryan Tannehill. Levis got hurt, but Tannehill came in, won the ball game. The script is written here.
What do you think?
What's going to happen?
What do you think about the total? What do you think about the total too, Smitty?
I'm staying away from the total, but I like Ev's viewpoint. I think the over would be the play if I play it. Exactly what's going to go down this game. The Texans will have an opportunity to win the game, and something controversial is going to happen. Something where the Texans get like, oh, great season. You should have won that. Pat on the back. Don't worry about it. Then Joe Flacco goes to play the Ravens. That's exactly what's going to happen. Book it right now. Cleveland in Baltimore next week. There's no way Goodell doesn't make that happen.
You know what, though? I want to see it. So, yeah, it sucks for the Texans, but I said it. The playoff matchups I definitely want to see are Rams, Lions, which we got, and Ravens,
Browns,
and Chiefs, Bills would be the third. Right.
Yeah.
And it would be in Buffalo, so we get a new chapter of that rivalry of, of course Allen can't beat Mahomes. He's got to go to Kansas City. Well, now we're going to see that flipped side. So let's see how that goes. I like the Browns here.
I wish you could buy stock in
I've been saying this forever. You should be able to buy stock in celebrities. You should be able to buy stock in athletes.
In a team. 5 years. I'm not talking about future for next year. I mean, 5 years from now, I think the Texans are going to be in such a great spot. I just think that this is kind of the first step of that. And I think the Browns come out on top.
I think the Texans give them a game, for sure. To the point where they probably should win, but not going to happen.
Let me run something by you. Am I crazy? Like I said, I like the Browns on the money line. I would love if they could get to 2.5 for this. And like I said, I love the over too. Almost going almost like a doubling down / like a middle on like a Texans over teaser, where you're getting Texans plus 8.5, and I guess it'd be over 38 over 38.
It's lovely.
Because to me, it almost feels like, how does that lose? Which when you say that, it feels like it always loses, but. Mm-hmm. Then somehow the Browns will score like a win by like 10 somehow, but the Texans getting 8.5 and an over 38 feels like almost too easy.
Ev, I want you to bet that exactly what's going to happen. Browns are going to be up by 3. Texans are driving to tie the game. Pick 6. That's exactly what's going to happen.
See, the only reason I was willing to do that because in my head I'm like, all right, like if the Texans part loses, I'll win the Browns still. And hopefully, you get. That's where I could almost taking a winner away from myself potentially, but I might go for it. I'm thinking about it. I was thinking about it this morning.
I like it.
Going 3 plays on it, and trying to find a little middle in the same game.
So we're all in the Browns then.
Which I don't like. Smitty, can you tell us the public? Where's the public on games like this?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
From when I looked at a little bit this morning, I think it's towards the Browns somewhat. The Browns have more money, I believe. More tickets, more money. When I was looking at a lot of the sharp whatever, the splits were kind of even. It was kind of like where the money is like where the tickets are. A lot of them.
Yeah, there's nothing. I don't see anything for this game specifically.
All right.
Other games, though.
Yeah, anything that jumps out. Yeah, the 80s and 90s, like, let us know. All right, Saturday night, Frank, in the Torture Dome, Miami at Kansas City, -4.5.
Yes.
Did it move? -4.5.
It's up to 4.5.
43.5 on a total, which goes to show you, like, if you told me the total was going to be 43.5, granted it's cold, but the total is going to be what?
Real quick, I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong day. The Sharps are on Houston +2. And the over.
That doesn't worry me that because
big money and Sharp is on the over. It's like all over the over.
Every acted like someone like shot a relative in front of him.
Well, I thought about it for a second, but I also know there was sharp money on the Browns like early in the week, so I know there is some on both sides. I just think the Browns are more complete. I just think what they've got going with Flacco right now, the defense I trust more, Flacco in the playoffs, and I don't like putting a ton of stock in this, but I do think, like you said, the NFL I think would really like to see Flacco go to Baltimore. Maybe it's a call here and there.
For the over 44.5, it's getting 73% of the money and 65% of the bets. So like everybody's betting the over.
All right, I like the under. I like the under.
There's a few overs I like this playoff weekend.
All right, Miami Saturday night. I love this. I think the Saturday night is my favorite of the schedule.
Fuck Peacock.
Yeah, but maybe I'll give you a login.
No, it's not that. It's the principle. It's not that. It's just the principle. It's the thing. All right, whatever.
Maybe you come. Maybe
we've been doing Amazon Prime every Thursday night.
No, but we've been used to that. We've been told that, and that's been kind of that's the deal you make with the devil. Fine. Then have it on Amazon Prime. This is bullshit.
Maybe you come down to the basement.
Oh, it's very kind.
I'll stay upstairs.
Maybe Clemmer.
Clemmer just comes just to watch in the basement by himself.
Clemmer bring over his rabbit ears. You guys won't have to watch.
Right, yeah. If you adjust it just right, it's not as staticky.
My wife goes to switch the laundry. Hey, tell there's a dead body on the couch.
I'm alive.
All right. Chiefs -4.5. Total 43.5. If you were going to tell me that a Chiefs-Dolphins game, granted it's cold, was going to be 43.5 at any point in the next 3 months of this season, I would have been like, no fucking way. But that's where we're at. You know, Chiefs defense is taking over instead of their offense. Miami doesn't look great in the cold. Not really touching the total of 43.5. It's a weird number to me. And I don't really want to lay 4.5 with the Chiefs, man. So this is a pass for me. I don't love any side of this. I could see Tua folding. I could see McDaniel and his stupid ankles being exposed. Like, still thinking he's smarter than everybody and fucking, like, you know, with that snarky fucking face. But, man, I don't want to lay it with the Chiefs. I really don't.
I think it's such a tough game because on one end, it's supposed to feel like it's -30.
Yeah.
I saw something too is like 0-4 when the temperature's like under 10 degrees. Dolphins are historically just bad in cold weather. Just not even like this team as well, but just like in general.
Yeah. When was it they were talking shit against the Patriots and went up in the snow and just got demolished?
Yeah, I mean I think
or was that the Chargers? But
Chargers got demolished one game too. But at the same time, I don't think I've seen like anyone be like, I like the Dolphins here. No, literally nobody.
Right.
And the line is going up. The line's showing that the lines went from 3.5 all the way up to 4.5.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this is not. It's because like if I took the Chiefs, I almost would want to. I want to take the money line, but the money line's gotten so high now that I don't really want to lay like minus like 200.
Well, there's something you can do.
Yeah.
And you can do the monster money line parlay. It's back.
Oh, that's gonna lose.
Oh, it's not.
In the
Chiefs.
playoffs?
In the playoffs. Good luck.
Chiefs, Bills, and Cowboys. They get you to plus 131.
Packers W.
Plus 131.
Remember I said this.
Remember I said the monster money line parlay is
Remember
back.
I said this.
You just gave Belichick a job in Dallas before he gave me the Nets.
Remember I said this. The Packers will be the reason that does it. The Packers. That might be my favorite bet. I know we're gonna get there. That's my favorite bet of the weekend.
That's not how it works, man.
With the points.
Monster money parlay is back.
We have a huge sharp action on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Dolphins game. Yeah.
Which way?
The under is getting 90% of the money and 82% of the bets. I've never seen it that high. And the under started 47.5 and it's now 43.5. I mean, it makes sense, but 90% of the money and 82% of the bets is wild.
That almost makes me want to go contrarian.
I know that's almost somebody's making a phone call.
Like the books, like the books need this. Let's get some points here. Get a couple flags on 3rd and longs. Let's extend some drives.
But then again, it's an under, so you're probably getting less bets overall than an over.
Right.
Yes.
Like they're going to be more over. They're going to be way more over bets.
Yeah.
On the Texans Browns game than there are under bets.
Oh yeah.
On the Chiefs Dolphins.
So I have a bet for this game too. Travis Kelce anytime touchdowns plus 100. I know he's been struggling, but he does have 14 touchdowns in his last 12 games. Also, I fucked up making this bet. I made this bet a couple days ago. Last night, I got really high on gummies. I forgot I made this bet. I made it again. So I really need Travis Kelce because I'm a fucking moron.
That's funny.
The old responsible gummy lay down.
Please, Travis Kelce, get a touchdown. I really need it now.
You know who I did that with?
Because they were not employed by Pennies.
St. Mary's to win the title. I have it twice.
Just doubled it up.
Did you get all fucked up on gummies, too?
No, I
that's not your style.
fucked up on my own self.
Oh, all right.
Forgetting what the fuck was going on.
Just a lot more volatile than gummies.
What is agreed? What is Pacheco to score a touchdown? I feel like he runs too fucking.
I'd imagine. I think
minus.
I'm gonna guess minus like 115.
Minus 120.
I don't hate that, man. He runs too fucking hard.
And he gets the goal line touches.
I could see that ball being held in but it's a matter of can the Chiefs actually punch it in? That's been their problem.
I know.
In the red zone.
But they really do go to Kelce, and it's Andy Reid, it's Pat Mahomes, so the same strategy is still there. They go to Kelce in the playoffs. They just do.
Yeah.
This would be just such a generational shift if the Dolphins find a way to win.
Yeah.
And I don't see it happening.
Yeah, but you say that. I don't know about generational shift.
Dude, when it's this cold.
Okay, yeah.
It's a generational shift.
Okay, I thought you were saying like a changing of the guard in Mahomes because how long?
No.
I love Mahomes, and I think he's going to be out there for a long time. But how long has he really been a top? 4 years? 5 years? What was that first Super Bowl?
4 or 5, yeah.
So that's still kind of like.
I mean, I would say not a generational shift, but I'd say more. It would be just what a disaster of a season for Kansas City.
Oof.
If they were to lose the first round.
What would be worse? The Bills losing last year to the Dolphins in the playoffs when everybody was banged up for the Dolphins? It was the Dolphins, right? Or was it the Bengals?
Dolphins.
It was Dolphins.
It was, yeah.
Or Kansas City losing this year.
Skylar Thompson, yeah.
To the Dolphins.
They lost to Skylar Thompson?
No. He's saying if they had lost.
Oh, got it. Yeah, I'm like, okay, got it. Because he said Bills losing.
Worse is the Chiefs because they had this stretch of making every AFC championship game. So I think that would be a major step back.
And losing at home to the Dolphins
round?
in negative weather.
Tua beating Mahomes also. How many quarterbacks? Because Josh Allen didn't beat Mahomes in the playoffs. They had good games, though, right? But you have Allen who challenged them. Then you had Burrow who beat him.
Yep.
Then you would add Tua to that list. And there's probably a couple other quarterbacks that you could say, like, if they played, like, how many quarterbacks in the AFC could pass Mahomes in the playoffs? Do you know what I'm saying? Or could challenge him? That just like adds another like dimension to the competitiveness.
Well, I think the way how much their offense has struggled. I think almost any team besides like the Steelers, could give them a run.
Agreed. I meant more like you just add Tua to the list of like, oh, he beat Mahomes in the playoffs.
Because I think the Browns could beat them. I think the Texans are capable of beating them.
Would beat them.
I think so too. I think the Texans absolutely could beat them.
But again, like that, then you add Stroud to that list. Like Stroud beat Mahomes in the playoffs. It's like you're just getting more people that are getting past you in the playoffs. That like these guys are only going to get better. These teams are only going to get better.
Agreed. And that changes the question I kept asking of like the respect of the Mahomes being on the pedestal of blocking all these guys from title games. You know, now we got almost all of them beating him in playoff games. You know what I mean? Remember I said how Mahomes' legacy could be better than Brady's in the sense if he keeps all of these young guns and all these young guns stay healthy and none of them ever win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And almost none of them get past him. You know what I mean? Like, let's say he went, 8-2 in his AFC championship games or something like that. You get what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah, Burrow got him that one time, but Allen never beats him, and Tua never beats him, and Mahomes and Jackson never beats him. Trevor Lawrence, and he's just got that like chip on their shoulder, on the table. So yeah, if a guy like Stroud beats him, a guy like even Flacco beats him, like that hurts your legacy. So
we have a little Shefty bomb, boys. Shefty bomb. The Commanders are hiring a 49ers assistant GM Adam Peters as their general manager. Sources tell ESPN. He won a Super Bowl with New England and Denver. He's been with San Fran since 2017. I think it's a really, really good move for the Commanders. Right. This guy's been John Lynch's number 2.
I want Matt Groh. I wanted them to look at him. Saw Wes Welker, maybe OC, but yeah. I was just curious, by the way, going off that Mahomes chatter, just basing off that. And I was curious who Tom Brady lost to in the playoffs. Can I name some quarterbacks?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, off the top of my head,
Peyton Flacco,
Sanchez,
Eli Sanchez,
Eli in Super Bowls, Foles.
This would have to add Dak.
Did Big Ben ever get him ever?
No.
Really?
No.
Wow.
Can I name them?
Yeah.
Peyton 3 times. Eli twice. Joe Flacco twice. Jake Plummer once. Mark Sanchez once. Nick Foles once. Ryan Tannehill once. That's the list. And it's
who the fuck did Jake Plummer start
it's
for?
Just,
Denver.
Yeah. But is that not so
what
funny
year was
that like
probably early
after he was with the Cardinals.
2006.
Yeah, obviously early on.
Yeah.
Oh,
is that not just so funny when you look at like I'm talking about like elite quarterbacks beating a Mahomes team in the playoffs and like it's like Brady was blocking Big Ben, Phillip Rivers in his prime. And he's letting Nick Foles win Super Bowls. He's letting Jake Plummer beat him in playoffs. It's just I think that was I was just curious if that was left.
Damn.
The schedule is crazy.
I never would have got Jake Plummer.
Jake the Snake, baby.
3 AFC games are going to play, and the NFC wouldn't even played one yet. Isn't that weird? It's like AFC, and then the 3 NFC games.
I did notice that yesterday.
Strange,
it took me until yesterday to actually realize it.
Now.
When I looked at it, I was like, wait, it's literally all 3 AFC games first, and then the 3 NFC right after.
I think that
I'm shocked the Eagles and Bucks got standalone Monday night. That game is going to be biblically awful. Sorry.
Well, that should tell you then they should replicate. The AFC should just be Saturday, and the NFC should be Sunday then. It won't be, but at that point, give it.
You just don't like the Monday night, huh? You're just not.
No, next week is
next week.
Oh, next week you're
Yeah,
saying.
next week. So if all the AFC teams play early,
right,
then let them play early again, and let the NFC teams play. You get what I'm saying?
No, it makes sense for recovery. Yeah.
But then Buffalo's kind of fucked because they play Sunday, so they lose out on that. But yeah. What was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh, Smitty, you touched on this with the weather. You know what I mean? Like, well, obviously that's the storyline. In NFL history, is there anything that stands out in our life of a team, a non-cold weather team going to a cold weather spot like this, and not just Miami in November when there's a little chill in Foxborough in a regular season? What?
Are you joking? Is this a troll? The worst loss in Philadelphia sports history is when Tampa Bay Buccaneers never won above like 30 degrees.
Okay, it is
came in and
not
last
a troll.
game at the vet. Yeah, came in last game at the vet when it was like fucking nuts frozen to the ground, 20 degrees, and ruined a lot of people's childhoods.
Yeah, not a troll, in all honesty.
Okay.
And
yeah,
I don't know if you followed, my arc in the last 3 months. I'm not looking to be a pro Bucks guy, so.
Yeah, that's true. That and Michael Vick beating the Packers. That was a shocker.
So this doesn't count because the
Giants are also cold
Giants
weather.
Are cold weather.
Right.
I'm saying a non-cold weather.
I'm just looking.
Yeah.
My go-to was exactly what Smitty said. That was the first thing that rang into my mind.
And Vic handled the Packers. That was a shock.
That was the one
Packers
I was going to say. I remember that.
Yeah, the Packers never lost.
I remember that was back in basically me getting into the gambling where your grandpa's like, who do you think is going to win? Like, tell me who's going to win this game. And I just was such a big Vic guy. I'm like, the Falcons. And I remember him just being like, like in the freezing cold. And I'm just like, Vic, no matter what. We'll be there no matter what. Michael Vick. Michael Vick.
This was San Diego against Cincinnati in the Freezer Bowl.
Yeah, we're in
82.
In the Bengals. Who won that game?
I'm not even kidding.
Chargers won?
No, Chargers lost.
Are you asking?
So there you go. So what I'm saying is,
I'm not even trolling.
59 below wind chill.
2 years old.
59 below wind chill.
I'm not.
I was 2.
I know you're 44. I don't. All right, that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Let's be honest here. They're not
42
playing.
years ago.
I thought you'd just give me like, I remember this.
Yes, I was 2. Yes, it was.
so that makes sense.
Shit my pants and had a great time watching this game.
That makes sense. What I'm saying is if the Chargers went in and won that game, that's a shocker. So to Smitty's point, the only one we know right now, modern day, is the Tampa Bay Eagles one.
And we know that
the Falcons.
We know that Dolphins stat. Do you want me to pull it up?
Do they even play a game today if it's minus 53 below wind chill? I don't think they do.
Yeah,
they might
they're saying the Chiefs is going to be negative 30.
Jesus.
That's not minus 59. 59.
I almost feel like once you're negative 25, what the fuck's the difference?
Yeah.
Negative 25, negative
your
50.
limbs falling off, Ed.
I mean, but
Like, I think
negative
people's
50,
fingers-
it's already negative 20. Like, it's fucking freezing.
They might move the Bills game.
I heard they're not going.
They were saying that was a rumor. Like, I think Schefter, somebody
Why?
said that.
They've done it before. I think
The
there's
weather.
Because of the weather, but they said, like, that's not happening.
Now they're saying it's
Or
not happening.
Because of the weather, how?
lake effect. They did it like a couple years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
In a playoff game, though?
No, that was when
end of
Buffalo.
regular season.
No, that was when Buffalo had that, like, they had, like, literally, like, 5 foot of
Yeah,
snow.
right.
And they played, I think it was a Tuesday in Detroit. They
Yes.
played in the Jets, I think.
There were
Rumor
rumored
that because the stadium collapsed?
Like, they're literally, people, you couldn't even get out of your house.
Yeah.
The snow was literally, like, they got, like, 5 foot of snow.
the rumor was they were going to move this game to Cleveland, but it's just not going to happen.
49ers beat, this is from the chat, 49ers beat the Packers in the snow 2 years ago. But I would even classify
That's right. It was.
San Francisco
Yes,
as
yes.
like a cold.
Oh,
counts.
no, San Francisco's not a cold
I
one.
forgot about that's right. That was when
It's pretty cold.
But it doesn't get snow, though.
they had the
doesn't get
punt
snow.
block or the.
So that counts.
Yeah, that
I remember Rodgers got crucified for that game. They scored like they won like a low scoring game. The Packers basically didn't score.
Yeah. That's a good
I
point.
think,
Good point for the chat.
Yeah.
Good point for the
It's not
chat.
also, by the way, just said, someone said L take about the Buffalo game. That's not like a take. That's just something I saw. You know what I'm saying?
No, that was a report.
It was a rumor, but it got squashed
And
yesterday.
then
I didn't see that.
This stat about the Dolphins game:
Crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's
2-7 against the spread
below 40 degrees.
since
Just
2017.
40.
Yeah, and 0-9 straight up.
I always get a little apprehensive. Since 2017, I don't really care what happened in 17, 18, or 19. It doesn't like that. None of these guys were even on the team, so I don't care.
I
The
think
coaching
it's-
staff was different. Everything was different.
well, I guess. All right, put it this way.
But I mean,
right?
the
All right,
Dolphins just historically, like,
True.
Look at the narrative.
they're just guys that are used to warm weather.
the narrative that we just tried to answer. Who wins these big games, or a warm team going into the cold weather? We had to get the chat to give us an answer on the San Francisco game that we forgot about. Smitty only knew Philly because he's a Philly guy.
Yeah.
From 20 years ago, whatever that was. What was the other one we said? Vic, you knew that from your child, but that's that's a big sample set.
That was like literally like
and very
2000
few
like
games.
2008,
So it's the mindset
7,
of just
6, something like that.
warm teams can't.
I don't hate the theory. I just don't love using stats that don't necessarily like that. Saying 2-7 against the spread, that means nothing to me. Now,
Fine, but it does fit the narrative of warm
It does,
teams
it does.
struggling so mightily.
You
in
see that one he
weather.
just put up?
I didn't. I'm sorry.
That it was they were like 0-10 and they averaged lose by 17 points.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it is. I think there is something to be said for the Dolphins, even when they practice, is always in warm weather. So I think there's something to be said for that. I just get a little apprehensive when I see stats
Also,
back when the other guys were on the team.
Tua being a Hawaii guy makes even
Yes.
more as him specifically
agree.
as the quarterback.
That makes
A Hawaii guy that played at Alabama, like basically almost never played a cold game.
that's a much more
ever.
valid point than what happened in 2017.
How
Yeah,
long?
and Clemmer, I somewhat understand your 2017. Nobody's on the team, even though I don't agree with it. How many times this year have you seen the Dolphins just give up?
Well, that's a whole different situation.
Oh, I know.
And it's
but
a fact. I mean, no, the Dolphins.
they went up to the cold against the Bills. They gave up, got slaughtered. Like,
I'm betting against the Dolphins. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I just want to have clarity in stats we're showing. Is it valid or not? And I just don't care what happened when no one's there. That has no relevance to me.
No, it's fair. It's definitely good to just like in gambling. There's so many stats thrown around that like just are like mean nothing.
Yeah, I think you have to discern what has value, what doesn't. In my
That's
opinion.
fair.
Right. All right, let's pick it up a little
Wait,
bit.
one more.
Go ahead.
This is another Dolphin stat. If you guys want to read that.
Coldest game in Dolphins history that also came in Kansas City in 2008. It was 10 degrees at kickoff, and the playoff-bound Dolphins went on to beat the last-place Chiefs 38-31. The current Dolphins quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, 1-4 in games, and the temperature was 50 degrees.
See, that second sentence, I'm much more interested in the first sentence.
100%.
I mean,
should've
50
said the last.
50 degrees when it's 49. I get that weather report with the game that he won, because if it was like 48, that's still like warm.
Bosco,
Right.
Bosco has his hotel room at 47.
Yeah.
How long? Sorry, last question on this. How long before with these NFL contract deals and TV deals and merch and ticket sales and stadiums only getting bigger and bigger and bigger? How long before somebody creates a practice facility, state of the art, where you can replicate snow, cold, and whatever for the entire week like this? Like the Dolphins walk into their practice facility and it's -10 for those 3 hours. Like, I'm
do it
not
right
saying
now.
try to kill you guys, but snow.
I absolutely love Red Hat Rico saying that, hey, we should create an indoor weather atmosphere and not use it to grow food for millions of people who might be starving. Let's use it to practice during the week for NFL games.
They use it at, if you go skiing and it's in December in New Hampshire, they have the snow guns working. I mean, it's a real thing.
Listen, but people don't apologize for being rich. Like, NFL teams are not going to be like, yeah, we could have fed whatever. Like, hey, we want to win cold weather games. So, yeah, like, you can use your money how you want to. What's Dave's thing? Yeah, I fly private. I'm rich. Fuck you. Like, I don't know what to say.
Honestly, I'm going to defend Rico a little bit. The other half of that Smitty said, that didn't occur to me for a second.
Not a second.
When Rico started saying it, I was in my head, I was like, he's kind of spitting right now. I was like, it's not a bad idea.
You're telling me if that report comes out, people wouldn't be like, oh, my God, like, they look at this team, groundbreaking, like, whatever.
Yeah. World hunger is solved. Wait, how does this benefit the Brits?
Yeah. Imagine,
These guys go for the Jets.
I could just see them getting ready in practice, like, putting on and they're sitting around their lockers and they're like, oh, fuck, they're going to have those fucking snow guns going again. And some poor fucking intern has, like, a system where he's like, it's like a pool filter. They have to put the snow back in the thing. It gets repurposed back. And these poor, like, football ops guys are working. Whatever. All right, Pittsburgh at Buffalo, Sunday, 1 o'clock. Buffalo minus the 10, 35. And a half is the total. I would lean the over here before I lay the points. That's kind of what I like.
So they're actually, I like the Steelers apprehensively because I do think T.J. Watt not being there is massive.
Huge.
That scares me quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I wanted to find the stat. I think where did it get posted? There was a stat about, it was, what was it? Fuck. Oh, it was the wind. It was something. It was that. When the wind is like, I think the wind's, when it is supposed to be 17 miles an hour or more, when the wind is like 13, basically over 13, the under was hitting like an insane number. Insane number. I saw it on Twitter somewhere, but I know it was like, the under hits an insanely high clip with winds of over 13 miles an hour. They're projected like 17 plus. Just food for thought. I don't even know if I'm going to take it, but I just saw it. I wanted to say it.
I don't see how the Pittsburgh keeps Buffalo out of the end zone minimum 3 times. In this one.
But also, another one I saw too, I think Josh Allen is like a double-digit favorites, like Owen, like, I think lost last like 8 or something like that, 10.
I also don't trust the Buffalo defense to be like that lights out. Granted, Pittsburgh's offense is bad, but I could still see Pittsburgh getting 7 minimum here, maybe 7 to 10 to 13, and then I'm okay because I do think the Bills are going to score. I like the over. I get your point. I like the stat. I'm on the over.
Since the beginning of the show, the line dropped from 10 to 9.5.
Okay.
And the over/under dropped to 34.5.
Yeah, I actually have it. That's the one I already took the Steelers plus 10, like locked in.
All right.
The weather is really concerning to me, and I'm picking this game. I do like Josh Allen anytime touchdowns plus 100. He's been finding the end zone a lot lately. Not that he doesn't typically anyway, but he's been doing it in pretty good consistency. I get nervous with this game with the weather. But that also makes me kind of want to lean on the Steelers a little bit. I do hit the Bills in my monster money line parlay, but 9.5 is a big number.
I mean, just Tomlin as a dog, playoffs. I mean, the Bills, as better as they've been playing, they have not been like blowing teams out by any means. I mean, even the Miami game. I mean, that was with that punt return, like flipped the game on its head.
This is I might pick this game. I'm sorry, one of those things. I might pick this game pretty late in the day. Like as late as, as late, close to 1 o'clock as possible so I can see how much the weather has an impact. I'm sorry, Smitty.
No, it's good. I'm on the Steelers plus 9.5 now. I haven't put it in yet because of that reason of Tomlin. They are going to fight. And they are going to go out and give it their all. And the Bills historically, especially this team this year, plays down to competition. Bills are still going to win, but it could be a backdoor. Steelers, 9.5's a lot. The over-under.
Way too many people talking how good the Bills are right now.
Yeah. The over-under is 34.5 right now. Tons of sharp money on the under. Damn. You boys know what it started at?
No.
40?
34.5. Now it started at 43.
Whoa!
I mean, it's because that wind, man. I really think
that weather.
It's supposed to be like it's supposed to be like gusting cold winds in Buffalo. Makes it like impossible to throw the ball. Really tough.
Have you ever seen an NFL football line drop 9 points?
Shit.
It's what I said. I wish where did I see the stat about the wind? Because I'm telling you, it wasn't like one of those where it was like 60%. It was like fucking like 85%. It was like nuts. It was really high.
I have a question for you guys. So if it drops from 43 to 34, like Smitty said, it's interesting that the spread hasn't really changed very much.
That's what I mean. You were right, Clemmer. There might not just be that many points scored.
It's like they're basically saying, "Oh no, Bills are still going to win by a ton." Now they're saying the Steelers just aren't going to score any points at all.
Well, I think they're saying, well, the spread's saying the same. They're basically taking the same amount of points from like both teams in theory.
Yes.
Like the spreads basically stayed 10. The totals went down like 8, 9.
Taking
points.
like 4 points.
They're basically just saying like they're just both of them are going to struggle to score.
Right.
What?
Big news, boys. We just went pee-pee in the potty.
Hey!
Let's do it. Yeah!
Attaboy.
I knew you could do it, Smitty.
I got that.
Good job, buddy. Oh, man, that's huge. Let's go. That's huge. Oh, good job, buddy.
That was like equivalent to like an Eagles playoff win.
Oh, that's more. That's more. I know there's one person on the panel knows how big that is.
That is fascinating stuff.
Could be financial. It could also be financially bigger than a Eagles.
Fair,
sure.
Fair.
Diapers, man.
Fair.
Hypothetically.
God.
I don't know too much about it, but hypothetically.
Oh, that's so huge.
Green Bay at Dallas minus 7.5, over 50.5. So I've been the biggest Dallas guy to win the division. I've been the biggest Dallas guy that I do think they're the second best team in the NFC here. You know, it goes without saying without the seed. I think they could flirt with San Francisco. I think if the more favorites win, I know this is just if the 3 favorites sweep the board, you almost got to love Green Bay outright. That's kind of how it goes. But even going into the game, regardless of how things affect, I could see Green Bay stay. So Dallas blows out bad teams. Right. I don't think Green Bay's a bad team.
They're not.
They're not a good team.
They've been pretty good. And Love's been great.
Love's been great, but he's regressed. He regressed a little bit, then kind of came back.
I saw some crazy. His last like 6 games, he had like 18 touchdowns, like 1 pick or something.
I could see. Yeah.
Like he's been. I think the Packers are live here. Like I think they can win for real. I love 7.5. Packers 7.5.
It's down to 7.
It's down to 7, and
if you can get 7 in the hook, that is even 7. Fucking.
I've been waiting for 6.5. I'm on the other way, so I'm waiting for it to drop to 6.5, and I'm going to
love
pounce.
the Packers.
I've been waiting all week.
No,
I love the Packers. The Packers are going to fuck around and maybe win this game.
I think
I completely disagree.
Listen, boys.
I see this getting decided by 3 to 5 points.
We have not only huge sharp action on the spread, plus 7, 72% of the money and 44% of the bets, but we also have sharp action
over
on the money line.
Oh, I'm telling you, they're fucking live.
Green Bay.
Dallas is not that good.
Listen to this, Ep. Green Bay, 23% of the bets on the money line, 83% of the money. Some big whales are coming on.
The Dallas are such fucking frauds. They beat up. They're a school bully. They beat up on bad, weak, puny kids, and then when the real big guy comes, they get bitch slapped.
Well, guess
That's what happens.
Green Bay does the same thing. Their last 3 wins at Carolina Panthers, they suck. At Minnesota Vikings, they sucked. The second to last week of the season, they sucked. And then they beat the Bears, who were playing a little better, but still a bad team. So the Packers' resume is not sterling either. And the Cowboys are a better team. The Cowboys are winning this game, and the Cowboys are covering 6.5 if it gets that low.
No, they're not.
Who's your little mistress money line?
This is where he's. This is where Clemmer's gonna get.
Yeah, this is where it ends.
Clemmer's getting smoked on this game.
Nope.
He's losing the monster money line parlay. He's losing 7. He's losing everything.
Oh, I'm so square. You know what I'm gonna be? I'm gonna be Mr. Money, because they're gonna win. Cowboys.
This is when this is when LaFleur, Mike McCarthy, where LaFleur dances circles around that big idiot, Mike McCarthy.
Also, is that the closer and closer the game goes?
It's just gonna get you're just a screening of me and McCarthy both have fat face syndrome.
Just locked up.
And it's just gonna be just a fat, stupid looking face. Well, all of a sudden, when in the 4th quarter, the Packers are up 3, and they're like, what the fuck? How did we get here? How did we get here?
Agreed.
We're the 2 seed. We won the NFC East, and the lowly Packers with Jordan Love, first-year starter, walk in with all the receivers being like 23 and under, and waltz in and put like 30 plus on the Cowboys and win. I like the over too. I think it's a shootout.
Yeah.
McCarthy gets fired.
Yeah, and then Belichick becomes the coach of the Cowboys.
Belichick and the
Becomes head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Said that today.
Ev, not a lot of sharp money, but sharp money is coming in on the under.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
The overs already went up a few points. I know it opened like high 40s and it's got up to like I think like 51.5 it is now.
50.5.
Don't shoot the messenger. Just giving up.
I like.
No, it's fair. No, a game like high totals. I basically just assume the sharp money's gonna be on the under. Any total like 50 or above.
Still like the over though.
I do too.
I have a stat that I meant to tell you guys, but you guys were talking about fraudulent teams. I got the stat on Monday, and it's fascinating. It's about the Dolphins. Tua leads the league in passing yards, right?
Correct.
The Patriots have more wins above 500 than the Dolphins. The Patriots have wins
I
over
did.
the Steelers and the Bills. And
I believe it.
the Dolphins have only beaten the Chargers, Pats, Broncos, Giants, Panthers, Pats, Raiders, Jets, Commanders, Jets, and Cowboys.
And even more incriminating, Dukes, the
Cowboys
losses
are
they have against good teams are embarrassing.
Yes.
Embarrassing.
I could not believe. I had to tell the guy, "Are you fucking with me?" And he was like, "No." So I just thought, like, going off fraudulent teams, it reminded me. I want to tell you guys.
Well, I've talked about how McDaniels is going to have a stupid fat face. I mean, I'm sorry. McDaniels will have a stupid skinny face, and that'll be my confused and just like, and just looks kind of waifish and gaunt like I do, and that's what you'll get on Saturday.
I'm curious to see McDaniels fit in the cold weather. Because he goes like off-whites, the fire shades, like he goes with the cool sweatpants are like pulled up to his ankle.
He's
like cool guy,
he's like
young
me,
guy thing.
What I do in the cold weather like that, I'm triple in layers. I get so cold and so bony. So you're wearing like multiple long johns. You're doing the whole thing.
Is he going like puffy jacket? Or are we going
big,
like
as big as possible?
I'm really curious what McCarthy goes with as like fit wise.
He's got a Canada Goose.
Dude, I would
a custom Dolphins Canada Goose.
He can also for sure vape on Saturday. Because
I wouldn't give a fuck what I looked like. They'd be like, look at this guy. He's such a pussy with all the layers. I would 100%. The only other thing, Tom Coughlin is a fucking fool. You know what he should have worn?
He's a legend.
He's a legend. But you know what he should have worn?
He was bundled up, man.
He was bundled
up.
The
only exposed part of his body was his face.
Yes.
And it was red as a fucking devil's dick.
That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. Healthy debate. Do you look like an asshole or are you a smart guy if you put on ski goggles?
Asshole.
I can't see that well.
Also kind of a pussy.
Ski goggles suck.
Who wears ski goggles?
Don't wear ski goggles.
The mask, okay, I can see the mask.
You can't be.
Ski goggles only for the sun.
Covers a large amount of your face.
It's for the sun, though.
You cannot lead men.
I would get a white. You change it out and just have a clear thing, and you have your goggles.
You cannot lead men, especially a bunch of offensive linemen who are in short sleeves with fucking goggles on. You think they're going to take anything you say seriously with goggles on?
You're talking, if it was an option, we're talking about, listen, when I'm going to hit the lotto and I'm going to have my snow replicator and all that shit. When I own an NFL team and stand on the sidelines, I would be in the box. But if you wanted to stand on the sidelines, going back to those poor football operations interns, I would make a plastic box that would pump in heat into the thing through a whatever, and you stand completely in a box.
But the owner doing that
box.
The owner doing that is okay.
A rolling fucking Segway box on the sideline. I would also do that if I was a coach.
Owner doing that's fine. Head coach can't do it.
I don't think ski goggles.
Head coach, you got to tough it out.
Dukes, what's the chat saying? Ski goggles, I look like a pussy?
Chat actually has two things. Chiefs are someone wanted to say Chiefs are 1-4 against playoff teams, and then 2, Gabe Davis is out for the Bills. Nobody's really talking about ski goggles or anything like that.
All right, fair enough.
Those are
no one's really talking about ski goggles.
Fair enough.
Your bubble plan, by the way, you would last about 3 games and you would die of carbon dioxide poisoning. It would go so badly. That bubble, that sounds like that's a death trap. I'm looking out for you. I'm looking out for future
Whatever.
risk.
I would be wearing so many layers.
Oh my god, I'd have a big quilt around me. Heated blanket. I get so cold.
All right, Sunday night we'll be streaming this one. Rams at Detroit. The most compelling. A lot of these are compelling, but storyline wise, this is the one. You know, Stafford going back, Goff there. Both guys with kind of a gripe, meeting down the road here, really settled the score. It's crazy because it's not who made the right call because the Rams obviously got the Super Bowl with Stafford, but just a settle the score kind of heads up type thing. Detroit -3, total 51.5.
Hey, has there been more of a kind of a win-win trade in NFL history?
No, yeah, both teams got what they wanted. Yeah, it's agreed. With Laporta out, I guess I lean Rams. I think maybe we slept on the Rams. I like McVay.
I took it already.
Rams?
What'd you do?
I'm glad because I got the hook. I got Rams plus 3.5 early. I took it literally like Tuesday because I wanted that hook and I knew it was going to leave.
Yep.
Rams plus 3.5.
It's plus 3 now. Listen to this. So it's the most. It's the most spread-wise sharp action of the week, and it's all on the Rams. 72% of the bets, 91% of the money, plus 3.
Yeah, I don't love how much of a public dog they are, but I like the split.
I'm on the Rams too, and if it 3.5, like you said, that sounds great to me.
Yeah,
I feel bad. I want the Lions to win though. From like a
I know
emotional...
you got to feel for the Lions fans, man, because this is the year like they're supposed to get a cakewalk here, first round,
right?
And they got to go up against the Rams and their old hero.
You know what's crazy too? For all the talk we're talking about Kansas City, the weather there, why nothing about Detroit?
Yeah, it's gonna be you think it's gonna be cold there?
I thought it would be.
It should be, right?
Detroit. They must have done something about it. I don't know.
I just saw I know you got off the joke. This is someone tweeted this a couple hours ago.
Almost makes you wonder why Kansas City wouldn't be a fucking dome also.
Or why any of these why are New York? Why is New England? Why do we do this to ourselves?
I mean, it does. I think it does. It can potentially give you an advantage.
Gives you a massive advantage.
Everything should have retractable roofs.
You're used to playing it.
I get so upset.
Look at this. There's a winter storm watch for Bill Steelers right now. It's saying there will be 65-mile-per-hour wind gusts.
Jesus, imagine taking a field goal in that.
And it said at least over a foot of snow.
The ball's gonna end up in Canada.
God, that's what I'm so glad I got that 10. Gladly take the 10 points in that weather.
What is that, like a boomerang? That's gonna that's gonna be the field goal. What happens when a field goal goes backwards? Can you seriously?
Yeah, really.
No, that's why the total it's going to be impossible to kick.
I know.
Kicking is going to be trouble. It's going to be just.
That's why I think I'm on the Steelers here, just because the Bills are, and I have the Bills as part of the Monster Money Line parlay. Thank God. But the Steelers, I mean, the 9.5 in that weather.
How great would it be to
run the ball better?
How great would it be to see a team just completely embrace the chaos and go, like we said, tush push the entire game?
I would love.
It's tough to get traction that on both ends. It'll be obvious.
I know, but just
dude, Rico, we'll talk about the Eagles game, but the weather, it's supposed to be thunderstorming on Monday night in Tampa Bay. I would not hate that one bit if they did that. Just every snap.
Chuck Klosterman wrote a essay about that. Like, what if a team did that and got like 3.2 yards every time and just did it every time to get it? And he wrote a very interesting.
Well, it's advantage to the Steelers too, because you could say, "Oh, well, do you really think you're going to score like that?" I don't know, but I do know this: can't throw the ball and you can't kick. And what's the other thing that doing that does? Long drives keeps the ball out of the Bills' hands.
Sure.
I'm not saying do it every, play. Obviously the tush push, but like. I don't know. We'll see.
You're not. I'm not defending the Eagles here because they stink right now. But there's only one team in the NFL that can do it successfully, consistently.
Agreed. But quarterback sneak, dive, just keep it between the box and see what happens. But all right,
just how cool would it be if the Bills or Steelers just brought back like old school, like 1950s Notre Dame wishbone?
I was literally going to say, wishbone.
Just for the week.
Just 2 lead blockers. We're just just get like a fullback and Najee Harris as the other like the pseudo fullback lead blocker,
why not?
Just give it to Jalen Warren, and just run straight wishbone. I remember being a kid with like legitimately defending the wishbone.
Yeah, it's tough.
I remember Minnesota Valley ran the wishbone every year.
We ran the wing T in fucking high school.
I did my freshman year. We ran the wing T. My freshman year, we ran wing T, and then we got a new coach. We switched.
Wow. A school we played against, when I was an 8th grade quarterback in Pee Wee's, we ran the double wing T.
Yeah, we ran that in middle school. We went T to wing.
And then they ran it in high school. Where the one guy goes in. It's like a version of it's a version of Navy without the triple option to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Like
kind of.
Shit, we ran it in college.
Yeah.
Which is
I love the wing T because I remember our coach had a hard on for the role where you're like we call it like the 4-back. Like you never get the ball. You're essentially like a pseudo running back receiver that's just a blocker.
Yeah.
And my coach used to have such a hard on for that guy because you're basically like you just have to make like the ugly blocks. You got to like you're like a running back type that's got to block like usually like a D end or something.
The running backs start like angled facing the ball like backwards off of the. It's fucking.
He'd basically line up like mostly like off the tight end, kind of like little behind him, like little to the side, like.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It's H-back. You're basically Chris Cooley, but you never got the ball.
Yes, correct. You're literally you're a running back that's just a blocker, but you're almost like a hybrid like running back receiver who never gets the ball.
Would you guys do motion a lot in that offense?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
And pulling guards. Your guard. They basically said our guards are fullbacks. They pull like half the time.
Dude, but it confused the fuck out of like 11-year-olds that like never saw it.
Oh.
Like if you didn't run it in practice and like you didn't scout when you were 11, it confused the shit out of people.
It's the worst offense.
It's the laziest. It's looking back at it. It was like the laziest offense to run because it was like kind of easiest to learn.
Yeah,
and everybody did it, and there was no innovation.
You ran like 10 plays out of it.
I liked my high school.
You run to the right or you run to the left.
I liked my high school coach because he ran a good program and did everything he could to get guys like me, Looks, and Colton. Like, was like you could play here, low. He did everything he could. But in terms of like actually trying to win and what you looked at with your talent, we had the fastest. For my the juniors in front of us went undefeated and won the JV championship. We went undefeated in freshmen and then lost in the JV semis. So we were 18-1 for 2 years. He combined those two teams with a loaded amount of speed and decided to run the wing tee for 2 years.
Yeah, horrible.
It was insane. And then he took our literally like a textbook quarterback, 6'3", blonde, tall, fucking. Could throw the ball a mile.
I love how him being blonde was like a factor.
It is. It is. It is.
Sunshine, Ev.
Sunshine. It's like Turtle, movie stars. He's got the big head.
Big head.
Tell him, I want a blonde quarterback.
All right.
So, he took, and then my senior year moved that kid to wide receiver for a kid who was a junior who was horrific. So, and actually, when he was a junior, John played wide receiver too. So, both years, the best quarterback did not take a snap under center for us. Crazy. And a ton of speed. Whatever. Anyway, Philly -3 going to Tampa Bay, 43.5. Smitty, why not Tampa? And I hate Tampa, but why not Tampa?
Why not Tampa? I mean, betting wise, the only bet you can make right now is if you like Tampa Bay, either spread +3 or money line, take it because it will go down. If anything, it's not going to go up; it'll go down. Other than that, I don't know. I just don't know. It's supposed to be thunderstormy, which should benefit the Eagles, but I don't know. A.J. Brown is maybe practicing, maybe not. Devontae Smith hasn't practiced. Who knows what's up with him? Jalen Hurts hasn't thrown a fucking football since he dislocated his finger. He tried yesterday a little bit, allegedly. So there's a lot of shit going on. Yeah, you got Chad Ochocinco smoking the comically large cigar built for a railroad baron, saying they're playing possum. Don't worry. Dallas Goedert saying we'll turn it on for the playoffs. Don't worry. I'm worried. I'm very worried, and I think they are too. And I don't think you can make an educated bet on this game right now until you know exactly how healthy the Eagles are on offense, unless of course you want to take the Bucs.
Yeah, I think it's me. I think it's you. You take the Bucs +3, and if the Eagles turn it on, God bless them.
Yeah, we can talk about this more on Monday.
That's kind of how I feel about it.
There's so many unknowns. I don't know which way to lean. So I mean, I was leaning very high on the Eagles, but then as the week's gone on, it's just I'm getting less and less confident. So I'm gonna wait till we're back on Monday to really kind of make a pick here.
So that kind of covers.
They're so much more talented than the Bucs. They're so much
for
more
sure.
Talented.
Agreed. Yeah, but they're a lot talented. Way more talented than a lot of teams they've played in the last couple of weeks. Cardinals, Giants. Should have lost twice to the Giants. Let's face it.
Yeah,
if Saquon, if he puts that ball on him, he missed Saquon with that pass too, 2 weeks ago. So
last 6 weeks, they're 1-5. They're the second worst record in the NFL behind the Commanders. They've let up since week 8 or something. They let up the most points in the NFL. Wow. They're not a good football team right now. They
Agreed.
just aren't. But would it surprise anybody if they come out and 35-13 beat them?
Tampa stinks.
Yeah, horrible.
Yeah. Tampa's like a terrible.
They're another team. They've beaten no good teams.
Absolute frauds.
All their wins are against 500-ish.
They're the worst playoff team left.
I could also see a lot of. I could see
without question.
I could see
Steelers.
Tampa.
Yeah, them are the Steelers. Yeah, fair.
Quote Felica. I could see the Bears. I'm sorry, the Bucs being a dog with fleas, everybody, ooh, the dog. I love the dog.
No doubt.
I love the dog. And it's like, no way. What?
1,000%.
Yeah. So always be aware of the dog with fleas. Divisional playoffs next week. What are they going to be, Smitty? So you're telling me the outright winners. San Francisco is playing who? Because you have to factor in the low seeds and the high seeds. So give me your 3 winners, and then we'll go, or whatever. I'll do the math for you guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give the Lions the benefit of the doubt. Go Lions, Cowboys, and Eagles. So San Fran will be playing Eagles then.
I'm with Smitty. I have the same.
Yeah, which are all, square favorites.
All right, and then AFC.
Oh, no, you said Rams, right?
No, I said Lions.
Oh, I'm on the Rams. I'm sorry.
Wouldn't surprise me if the Rams win. If the Rams win that game, then the Eagles are playing the Cowboys.
What about the AFC?
AFC, I'm going Browns, Chiefs, Bills. Square as can be.
Ev.
Yeah, AFC, I agree. I'm going Browns, Chiefs, Bills.
Me too.
NFC, I'm picking some big. Like I said, I'm going with the Rams, and I really believe that. I think the Packers are going to go in there and win. I'm picking that upset.
Wow.
I love it.
And then
Eagles, Bucks.
That one. Oh, God, I'm so confused.
We just don't know.
I'm so confused. That one's that's the toughest game for me of the week.
Put it this way: the only reason I'm picking the Eagles to win is because I feel like I have to. That's the only reason right now.
If Marcus Mariota starts that game.
Kind of breaking.
He's not starting the game. Hurts is going to start.
So we got some breaking news, Dukes?
Kinda. It's for Smitty.
Oh, no.
Can I ask this question?
Little drum roll here.
Can I ask this question? If you're the 49ers?
I don't like how you led that in.
And the
Is this
Packers?
good or bad? Can you tell me this is good or bad news?
It depends how you take it.
Can I ask this question? If you're the 49ers and the Packers and Bucks win?
A.J. Brown, what is it?
A.J. Brown.
Has deleted all Eagles-related content from his Instagram right before.
And he deactivated his Twitter account. Okay, well, that's weird.
Seems stable.
See, so that was the thing this morning. He deactivated his Twitter account, and people were saying, like, oh, it's one of two things. Either a rift with the team or he's getting, focused. And him just deleting Eagles stuff off Instagram, I don't like that.
Smitty, don't worry about it. He's just going to an escape room. Everything's fine.
I'm going Browns, Kansas City, Buffalo, Dallas, Rams, and then flip-flop either way, Tampa Bay. But the question I will ask this. If you're San Francisco and the Packers and Bucks both win and you then get to play Green Bay, would you want to play Green Bay or would you want to play Tampa Bay?
Tampa for sure.
That's what I'm – so don't you think that, yeah, it's nice you get the seeds, but we should have a selection? Wouldn't that be fucking compelling? That team has to
declare. Such would be compelling, yes.
Declare who they're fucking playing?
Absolutely would be compelling, for sure. No doubt about that.
Also, for all the thing, so the goal is to give that team the best thing, right? Okay. So, yes, Green Bay is the 7 by the book.
Right.
But what if Tampa Bay somehow wins that game and Baker dislocates his shoulder? Who's the worst team? There's no doubt about it. It's Tampa Bay. You get what I'm saying?
Now we're talking like it's college.
What?
So now we're talking like it's Jordan Travis situation.
Granted, or just whatever, or how they look, like what you think you saw in a scout. I don't know. I think if you're gonna give the team the choice, let them fucking pick.
Major League Baseball toyed with this idea a couple years ago.
Yeah, I hear what
it got poo-pooed because people didn't want to be embarrassed.
Yeah, I don't love it. I understand the compelling, the compelling element of we have to. This team literally wanted to play us, they picked us as the weak link.
It's bulletin board material.
I totally get that, but I just think I don't know. To me, that's just not like. It's not what sport. I don't know. This may be stupid.
Well, here's the problem.
You
cannot wait till.
It's not how it works.
You cannot wait till late Monday night to make that pick as well.
Of course,
so
you have to make it immediately.
Right. Yeah. So no. Well, the game is Monday night, and that's what I'm saying.
Right.
No, but
if Green Bay won and then Tampa wins, my point is that game's not over till late Monday night.
Well, yeah. But you're in that scenario, then it'd be like every high seed gets to pick who they play.
Yeah. Well, no, not that, in they reseed in the NFL. It's the only one where they reseed. In the NBA, I'm not saying do that. Make it just the seeds play out how the seeds have played out forever.
Yeah.
In the NFL, if you're going to reseed, let them choose.
I just don't. Not a fan.
There's a million reasons why it can't work. I'm just saying, let them choose.
It's good content. Like I said, it didn't fly with the players and teams back, in baseball, and I'm sure it's the same reason it wouldn't fly in football.
Yeah. What about this? What about all three dogs win in the NFC? Who would you most want to play if you're San Francisco?
Tim Bay.
Yeah.
No, they're
the Bucks.
Oh, the Dogs. Yeah. I would say so. I think they're the least dangerous of the three.
Yeah,
They're the worst.
I think the Rams and Packers.
So I'll give you a realistic.
Especially the Rams, I think can be dangerous.
I'll give you a realistic one. Yeah. Who do you think? Who would you rather play, Green Bay or the Rams?
Green Bay.
Tough. I think it's tough, but I'd lean Green Bay.
I'm leaning.
I don't want to go and face Stafford.
I'm just leaning towards the Rams being a little pesky. That's all.
My only thing is I just think specifically the Niners. Like just the amount, even though they've had the Rams number so much, just the amount of times they've played them, they just know each other so well. Like pretty much besides that NFC title game that the Rams won to go to the Super Bowl, and when they won it, obviously, the Niners have beaten the shit out of them every year, like swept them, even like with McVay, without him, McVay, Shanahan's owned that matchup, but just having that much familiarity with each other.
Yeah, you never want to play a divisional opponent over.
I still think the Niners, obviously, the Niners would be favored significantly, probably, and rightfully so. I mean, at home, their defense is like the Rams. The thing with the Rams is, I bet them as a future 50-1, but their defense scares me. Their defense is not good, not nearly as good as it was when the Super Bowl. It's not. It's average at best. It's really probably even slightly below average.
Go ahead, Smitty.
You're big on getting the best bets at the right time. The 49ers right now are minus 130 to take the NFC. You're basically just betting on them for the NFC Championship game right now at minus 130.
I would take that. I would take that.
Well, two games though.
2 games, but let's be realistic. Are they going to lose a divisional matchup?
But I'm saying the one I just said they could get a team like the Rams that might be
but
difficult.
To his point, that's fine. Anything can happen. I get your point. But to his point, would the 49ers ever be minus 130 in a divisional game? Absolutely.
No, of course not. But that's because they have
you still got to do 2 games. You still got to win.
It's basically parlaying them money back to back.
Yes.
And having no idea who they're
You're ahead of the
play.
game in the divisional, and then I think you still might be ahead of the game in the AFC. They're never going to be minus 130.
Well, no, but you're comparing it to a 1-game situation.
But if it's all matchups. If they have to face the Rams and the Cowboys, that's tough.
So you're saying they'll never be minus 130, but it's of course not, because
2 games.
The minus 130 situation they're in, they have to win multiple.
Okay.
I think the Rams would be tougher than the Cowboys, to be honest with you.
I do too. I do too. Absolutely.
Same question. If you're Baltimore and the Texans and Dolphins somehow pull this miracle, say the Bills win, obviously you don't want the Bills. Would you rather play Miami or would you rather play Stroud, rookie quarterback, going on the road to you?
I'd rather play Texans.
Didn't Stroud beat them?
And they won't. They will play Miami. You get what I'm saying?
They played
Miami.
I'd rather play Miami.
I'd rather play Miami. I'd rather play the Texans.
I'd rather play Miami because if Miami beats the Chiefs in Kansas City, that's on the Chiefs. That's because the Chiefs fucking fail. It's not because Miami goes over the top and does something spectacular like they put up 70 against the Broncos. Plus, the Ravens already whooped them this year. Didn't the Ravens have trouble with the Texans?
They put up 56,
Yeah,
they killed them. So
I mean, the Ravens just beat the shit out of the
Dolphins too. Yeah,
it was 56-19. Beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, so
it's
going to be compelling. It's wild card weekend. I think is one of the most underrated weekends of the year. I actually root for shit like this to be super cold outside in my own area. There's no we're going here. We're going just stay in the fucking house.
The Ravens, by the way, plus 120 to win the AFC. Kind of what we're talking about with the
tougher road though.
Way tougher.
Absolutely, you got to get by the Bills, potentially Mahomes,
potentially the Browns.
I mean, we talk about the Browns going in and playing upset. That's
the Browns could upset the Ravens.
So I agree with you guys entirely. I like the Niners way more, but I just want to put that out there.
Great weekend. Slept on weekend. A lot of college basketball as well. Enjoy it, Dukes. What's best bet?
Dayton money line.
To close this out.
Trap game tonight. Dayton money line tonight against Duquesne on the road.
Anybody else got anything tonight? Actually, I should have said that.
Yes,
wait.
We got a records. Yeah, we got our records graphic. I have been so bad.
I'm dog shit. I got
so bad.
NBA is killing me. I'm 0-4 the NBA.
I mean, my stretch of Sunday, Monday, I went a combined 5 and 15.
I think I don't know what to do about the NBA.
I got swept.
I've been awful.
Hey, shout out to Dukes' guy, Colin.
Yeah.
That graphic is clean.
He helped me out with the lacrosse stuff, and I don't know why I didn't think of him. It's probably because my big, dumb brain, but shout out Colin for helping me out.
Let's go, Colin.
He works his ass off. Yeah.
I get back on track in NFL.
I'm going to take the over in Indiana, Minnesota tonight.
Shout out PMT Stats and Info. Sorry.
Yes.
And PMT Stats.
I love that guy. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It felt wrong right there.
I
Take Rico?
I'm going to take the over in Minnesota, Indiana tonight. Over 143.5 is where I'm at.
I like that.
And what did you give out? Dayton?
Yeah, Dayton's playing Duquesne on the road.
Fuck
it's
it,
a
I'll
rat
take Dayton.
line.
Take
Duquesne's
Dayton.
-1.
Give me Dayton.
So it definitely screams Duquesne, but I think Dayton gets
Fine.
it done. It's like
Give
a
me
home
Dayton.
game in Pittsburgh.
Okay, give me Dayton. Marty also, by the way, is dancing right now. How hot he is in college basketball. He might stay hot through February. It's just poised to once the calendar turns to March to have a cold run. You know how it works.
Yeah.
You don't run through
College basketball is tough. It's just
You
so
do not
like,
run through college basketball for 3 straight months. The only warning I'll give him.
Because when you have the team that you fall in love with in the beginning of the season,
Yep.
and they're good to you, they're never good to you for the full year.
Yep.
I'm here for the mush downfall.
I'm just saying, we've all been in that. Like, you can't lose, and then it's like, oh, like I've done it. Like, oh, I'm on a 17-4 run. This and that. Like,
Yeah.
just be careful. In March, it's a different element, man.
Ev?
I really like I'm on that Indiana over as well, like Rico. I love that total. Also, the game I love the most though of the day, Nebraska coming off that big win against Purdue.
Uh-huh.
I love them. I love fading them going to Iowa. I love
What's the spread
Iowa
on
in
that?
the spot. Iowa -4.5.
What's the
Oh,
total?
love that.
I think it's like 165.5. Yeah, but I just thinking this is such like a classic college basketball letdown spot. You beat the #1 team in the country, you blow them out, then you go on the road to Iowa to a team when you're 13-3 and Iowa's 9-6. They're -4.5 favorites. I think Iowa rolls here. I love Iowa.
Fran
love
knows
Iowa.
how to get through the Big Ten and knows how to
Love
win
Iowa.
games and maintain and be 10-7 and
Yeah.
11-6 and 9-9.
I
He
like
knows
Iowa.
what he's gonna
I'm
do.
tailing
Like
you on that.
what?
I'm tailing you on that. I like
Yeah,
that.
it's just
It's just classic college basketball
This-
spot.
this-
I mean,
like I know Dayton Duquesne's on ESPN too, so it's gonna be like this is just. I'm gonna get my 2 minutes. Duquesne 0-2 have 2 bad losses in the A10. They're supposed to come and be a top 3 team in the A10, right? 0-2 at home playing Dayton, who's right on the cusp of getting ranked. They win this, they're ranked. Everyone's like, oh, Dayton might be for real. This screams Dayton lost, but I think that this Dayton team's different, so that's why I'm taking Dayton. If I was a better, probably Duquesne, but I like Dayton. Rats win too.
Smitty, what do you got?
I got one play tonight. It's a value play. Dallas Stars -1.5 at home against the National Predators, +140.
Want me to read Marty's?
Yeah.
Marty has Indiana -4.5, Dayton money line, DePaul +19.5, Iowa, Nebraska over 165.5.
And
You need that to be perfect, but they could. But go ahead, Clemmer.
nothing today, but please, Travis Kelce. I'm borderline now irresponsibly betting on Travis Kelce gets a touchdown because I bet on it, 10,000 times like a moron. And then obviously the Monster Money Line parlay, which is, that's a good bet.
I think that people want you to give out an NBA pick like every day.
I don't blame them. Fade away, fade away.
Yeah.
I didn't even. I had no idea about the Paris game. When you at like
same.
3:30 were like, my bet already lost. I was like, what?
Yeah, incredible.
I was like, the NBA? And then I look and see it's in the middle of the third quarter, and
honestly-
he had 9 rebounds. I was like, holy fuck.
I appreciate. I like helping the people, but financially, I can only because I'm betting these games and I'm losing money. I've lost quite a bit of hundreds of dollars now. Thanks to the NBA.
No free shout-outs, but Trent made a living off of losing bets.
Well, I might need a second living if I keep doing this because I'm getting annihilated.
Dude, could you imagine?
Trent who? Iowa Trent?
No. Like the guy on TikTok, Trent.
Oh, no.
Oh, I don't know who he. I thought you meant our Trent.
An awful way to end the show.
I don't know who this person.
Dude, why do you think I was trying to get that over his head? Air it out.
You
air out
just
the
made
grievances,
Rico
air
so
out the
angry.
grievances.
Rico's making a
Rico is
face.
sick to his stomach.
So angry.
He's not as bad as his female sidekick. That's all I'll say.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I know exactly who you're talking
They
about.
both
That
have
was
meetings coming up.
unnecessary.
They both have meetings coming up for contract extensions. $250.
She's the woke.
I like them both.
All right. It was a good weekend. We all had fun, but Dukes ruined it. See you Monday.